Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 52. Now, you might think with no match yesterday, what's the point? There's always a point, my friend. There's always a point. Nick's not joining us tonight. His whole family are ill. So it's Dr. Dreamy Dan and Mr. Kidderminster himself, John, and me as well. So there you go.
Get well soon, Nick.
Yeah, Nick. Yeah, we don't want you being ill, mate. Get well soon, buddy. So, all right, just to let you know, I've got yogurt tonight. I brought in a yogurt, and it's a Lindal's. Lindal's, darling.
Very
Lindal's.
posh.
15 grams of protein for you, John. Happy days.
Pear drops.
Okay.
Pear, I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure it'll be lovely. I'll have it
Pear
later.
drops are a sweet from the 90s.
They're sweet, yeah.
Oh, they are. There's no way it's tasting like no, but if you look, it's actually got pears on it. Anyway, it's not football. It's not football. We'll talk about it later. Right, okay. So, what can we talk about? Oh, I know. What about going to Macclesfield, thinking we're going to win and being absolutely drubbed 5-1? John, you were there with me. What happened, mate? Tell me.
Yeah, I was there. So what happened was a mixture of complacency, individual errors, probably a bit of overconfidence going into it on the run we were on. And although this is to a much lesser extent, and we do need to talk about this in depth, we've struggled to a degree of which I've never seen any other team struggle to play on a 4G pitch. We just cannot play our football on them. And it's getting beyond a joke now.
Surely there has to be a game plan for a 4G pitch. There has to be. I know they go and play. Is it Droitwich they go and play on 4G and whatever? But
yeah, they do have access to Droitwich, but and this is again something we'll discuss later when we talk about Richard Lane's investment in the club and the Agra purchase. Very pleased that he's investing in 4G pitches at the training ground, so the team are going to be able to play.
Defo happening? When?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm revealing an exclusive or something I shouldn't reveal, but yes, that is definitely happening. There are 2 full-size 4G pitches being built at the Centre of Sporting Excellence, so that's going to be, I think, invaluable if we are still in this league next season to be able to train on those in the run-up to those games.
Yeah. How much does a 4G pitch cost, do you know? And will we get money off for buying 2?
I don't think it's I don't think it's like safe style windows. You know, you buy one, you get one free.
Can you not just go to Temu and get? Oh, while you do that, I'm gonna have a look on Temu, see if we can get some.
Well, I did see that you could get a full sized MMA octagon on Temu.
I'm not sure.
I didn't go for it, but I don't know how much it costs. I've no idea. But what I will say is that I think all of the business dealings in and around the club have been with the with 2 things in mind. One, growing the club on the business side as well as the footballing side, but also with sustainability in mind.
Yeah,
and I think we're in a very fortunate position because we've had some pretty dodgy chairman and owners in the past. I'm mentioning no names, but one of them I imagine is still on his sponsored slim. I think we're in a fortunate position in Richard Lane. I hope I'm not proven wrong long term. I don't think I will be. I think that he's got sustainability in mind. I don't think he wants to be throwing money at things that is not going to give him and the club positive return.
I still can't find one. Oh, hang on. Yeah, go on, Dan.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I'm going sort of back to the football side of 4G pitches. I mean, I've literally just this second come off a 4G pitch, and I'm still covered in the little plastic rubber things that stick to you when you're playing up. They're horrible. But 4G pitches are strange, and you'd sort of think that, okay, well, a 4G pitch plays one way, a grass pitch plays another way, but all 4G pitches are also different. And if you look at Bedford a couple of weeks ago, the ball was just skidding away off of that pitch. And then Macclesfield last Tuesday, the ball was holding up. So not trying to make an excuse, or more just trying to find a reason. And I think a big part of it is preparation towards playing on 4G. And I think us having our own couple of 4G pitches to be able to train on, to be able to work on, I think is imperative, especially if we're stuck in this level, because they're just hard. Have you found one?
How much is that going to cost, Wes, if you're getting one in your back garden?
£1.70.
What is that? Full size? Okay, yeah.
No,
I
that's
can't
only
imagine.
3G though. That's only 3G.
Well, where'd you get the other G from? What's the other G when it's at home? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Generations they are. Much like phones, yeah, it's all generations.
Okay. So look at the comments now. Hello everyone who's joining us. That's amazing. Oh, Dr. Stevens come up with a price, a quote, if you will. Gary Martin says we're always going to lose at some point. Yeah, just, Mark Stone says defo happening, which I believe is about the 4G pitch or 3G pitch or whatever. Gary Martin says, yes, it is. I heard that one. Paul says, perhaps play 5 at the back and do what other teams do at Kiddie. Dr. Stephen, straight in, £150,000.
Does that include laying the pitch as well? Have you got a team, Dr. Stephen, that's going to come in and lay that for us? And because I'll take that.
Yeah, well, if that's a quote, Dr. Stephen, then you'll struggle to beat Timu's price. But yeah, the other thing that I'll say with regards to 4G pitches, and I absolutely don't want to make it seem like I'm saying that was the reason for the defeat at Macclesfield or the sole reason. The other thing about 4G pitches is certain players don't get selected to play on them for a reason. Yeah. So we really could have done with Digger on the pitch on Tuesday as a leader, both in terms of the way that he marshals the team through games, but also leads by example with his performances, especially lately. He doesn't play on 4G pitches because of how tough they are on.
So he suffers with tendonitis in his knee, so it's understandable that he's not out on those surfaces.
It's understandable. It's just
annoying.
Annoying, frustrating, and it's another reason why I think getting out of this league is so crucial, because teams coming into the league are more likely from below and more likely to have 4G pitches than ever. And we've already got 7 or 8 in this league with 4G pitches, which is a big percentage of the league, and that's a lot of games to lose Digger for. And I think also I know it's irrelevant now, but Tunney wasn't playing on 4G pitches to start with either. I think he did play 1 or 2 on the 4G, but I think he wasn't playing on them again because of the injuries that he suffered. So if our team selection is having to change because of those pitches, all the more reason to say, look, we can't stop teams having them, so let's try and make sure that the only way to play on them less is to get out of this league.
Get out of there straight away. I knew. Do you know what? Actually, do you know what? Yeah, carry on. I meant to do this earlier, but carry on chatting to yourself. Go on, chat amongst yourselves. I forgot to do something else as well.
I mean, I've got lots of thoughts about Tuesday night.
Please,
but Dan, what did you think watching the game at home?
So I watched it on DAZN. It was a difficult watch. I think we all went in there expecting a hard game. We'd certainly on our little group that we're on had been talking about the fact that we knew it was going to be a difficult game of football. I think there were players on that pitch that we have become accustomed to turning out week in, week out that never showed up. I think trying not to name names, but I'm going to name names. I think Obi was poor. I think he seemed to be a couple of yards off the pace. He seemed to want extra touches. What he did do didn't really come off. He was certainly at fault for, I think it was either their 3rd or their 4th goal. I felt that
second or the first
was second. I think he was also partially at fault for the 4th.
Yeah, I think Reece Hall struggled. which was disappointing.
Oh,
I was kind of hoping
did he
he'd
ever?
come on and I was hoping he would sort of really come on and shine a bit. He didn't. I thought Jack Clark had a difficult game as well. And one of the concerns for me going forward, and this is sort of going against everything I've said, but George Walker has been somebody who I've really highlighted as a real potential for this season. But I just feel like when he's on the pitch, we have a tendency to try and channel everything through him. And it becomes very, very predictable. And whilst I still believe George is a real talent, and his pace is going to be something that when he really kind of beds in, he's going to be a starter every week. I just feel like we need to be thinking when we're going forward, we need more inventiveness. We need to be able to. We need somebody. I'm just gonna echo what Nick's been saying week in, week out. But we need somebody probably in that number 10 role that is going to pull the strings more. And I think that's one of the things that we're really struggling with when we're going forward. It's just a bit too predictable, in my opinion. Fell off my scooter. Oh, dude.
This is me, yeah. I did, man. I literally got there, got in my car, drove round. The guy wouldn't let me in the car park, then the proper car park was too full. So I had to then park on someone's drive, drove round, come round. And the what I didn't see was that the level just went dip. And then I just went, and then I was swearing before I even hit the ground because I knew exactly what was going to happen. So fell off my scooter because the car park is not great. Not got a great feeling, as drive was also crap. The drive was terrible, wasn't it, John? Hey, drive up there?
It wasn't too bad coming from Kiddie, but I think it was pretty rubbish weather all the way up. Thankfully, we didn't get that soaked actually watching the game. Obviously, they're not spending any of the cup money on a roof anytime soon. And then it started snowing about halfway through the second half. I don't think there was any real kind of negativity or pessimism off the pitch before the game started, and then very quickly that changed because of the way that we were playing. And Mark Stones has said we couldn't cope with their runners, we couldn't cope with their movement. We couldn't match the way that they played, or we didn't match the way that they played. And I think part of that, I know you guys mentioned Reece Hall. I was really surprised to see him on the team sheet ahead of Cam Candola, because Cam Candola has played, he started at centre half for us. He played centre half for quite a while before he moved into that more advanced midfield role. And I think he would have been, for me, the more sensible and reliable choice in that role. We did miss Owen Evans massively, absolutely, but we can only play with the squad that we've got available. I don't think we selected the best 11 to start the game that we had available. We probably finished with that. Someone else has said we were killed by the long ball. We didn't adapt tactics. With the George Walker situation, George really struggled to put the crosses into the box that he has been putting in. Everything was along the ground, and everything was getting dealt with quite quickly by Macclesfield. And I think at that point, we could have done with changing it. I think that the changes that came, even though they were changes at half time, I think were maybe a little bit too late, even though that sounds silly.
Adam Murray said that. Yeah, he said that in his interview after the game. He said he thought about making the changes after 20 minutes, half an hour. But
15 minutes, he
15
said.
Was it? He said, yeah.
I listened to it 3 times in the car on the way home, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It's like, if you thought about it, just do it, mate. Just do it. If they weren't up to it after 15 minutes, how would they be up to it after the first half? Do you know what I mean? I just thought that wasn't the attitude I wanted to hear from the boss, to be honest with you.
And I think...
Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think Dr. Stevens sort of summed it up with what he said in this comment here about the first 20 minutes of the second half. We look good. And I totally agree with that. And I think the changes that were made were exactly what we were saying, certainly with Reece Hall, the surprise of having Reece Hall selected over Cam, because Cam came in and suddenly we looked more of a force. We were moving the ball better. We were moving the ball quicker. And I just sort of feel, I wonder if, and he's never going to admit this, but I think there's, in my opinion, it feels like there's a bit of a lesson learned there. I think, you know, I get that there are players in the squad he wants to give a run and he wants to rotate. Macclesfield were too good for that. I think it was probably the wrong night to be putting surprises down. It's my opinion, Adam, if you're watching, you know, you're the boss, but that's definitely how I felt about it. I felt Reece Hall looked well out of his depth. And we did really miss Owen Evans. You can't deny that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think someone summed it up here. Nothing against Reece Hall, but he's nowhere near good enough. And I don't think he is. I think he struggled. He struggled in one-on-one situations. He struggled to deal with that ball over the top. Positionally, he left the other defenders exposed as well, which did not help our cause whatsoever. And as we've said many times on here, everyone who's puts on a red and white shirt, we want them to do well. We want them to perform to the best of their ability and give a good account of themselves. I just think putting him in after his previous performances probably wasn't the right idea. On a tough night, tough surface, tough team. We've got to remember also, and I know this has changed since, we're playing a team who were favourites at the start of the season to win the league.
Yeah, true.
And they came into this year as hot favourites to win the league. I know their situation changed with Savage leaving, etc. Yeah. But they're still a good side, and they've still got a strong core of that squad. So, yeah, I think that I would have preferred to see Candola in there as a bit more of an experienced head who is going to be able to maybe perform in that situation to a higher level.
I just want to just quickly go back because Citrus Lee has had a he said something about the 3G, 4G. He said looking at 500k to $1 million to supply, prepare ground and drainage, etc., and fit. 170k is just the cost of the turf. Now, Citrus Lee, I don't like that quote at all, mate. Do your figures again. Come back to us when we got a little bit less. You know, take some cash off that. That'll be absolutely fine. So we missed there was supposed to be a game yesterday. John, you know as well as I do because you were going to go to Newcastle, right?
Yeah. So actually had a hotel booked in Newcastle, but unfortunately we made the decision not to travel up just to have a night in Newcastle, as good as it is. Yeah. And I think it's a shame that we've lost that game. I don't think it's the end of the world because we're not in a situation like Hereford where they've got 35 games in hand.
They can still win the league.
We're not. We're not in a terrible position where we've had loads called off. It's always a shame to have games abandoned. What I will say is I was pleased it was called so early. We didn't have the trouble of travelling up. It wasn't a waste of time and energy for the squad. So that's a positive. I hope more and more teams start to do that and take a pragmatic point of view when it comes to calling off their home games. Yeah. I know Stourbridge was called off, I think, with 20 minutes to go yesterday or something silly like that. And Needham Market had travelled 3 hours to Stourbridge. And yeah, that's a positive. I think we're still in a good position fixtures wise. If we win our 2 in hand that we've got over Merthyr, obviously one of those games. Well, it's the next game we've got coming up, isn't it, Merthyr? Then it is. Then we're in 3rd position, and that's where we want to be. We've said time and again, solidify playoffs, and then start looking at that 3rd and 2nd position, which I hope that we can be doing in a couple of weeks. And the results went our way. Merthyr lost. Every result yesterday pretty much went our way. So I think that, it's as disappointing as it was especially for me, being as I was supposed to be up in Newcastle.
Yeah,
I do think that it's not the end of the world that game's been called off.
I'm just looking. I'm just looking at the fixtures we got now. So we got Merthyr Tuesday night, which we'll look at in a minute. Well, later. Merthyr Tuesday night at home. Darlington away on Valentine's Day. Kiss me quick. And then we've got a run of 4 home games, and then Buxton away. So you'd like to think that we can possibly. Oh no, John, sorry, mate. One of those games is the FA Trophy.
28th.
It is the FA Trophy. I will be there and no doubt get a lot of stick.
No, I'm banning you, John. I'm banning you from going, mate. Come on. If we score loads, you can't celebrate once. Look at the floor. Look at the floor the whole time.
So, my position on the FA Trophy, as I've said many times, I think that if we were mid-table and we weren't in the position we are where we need to solidify the playoffs, if we were, if we were in the conference, well, National League for the younger viewers, if we were in the National League, I would say, yeah, let's give it everything we've got. I think whilst Owen Evans could have been injured in any game, he wasn't. He was injured in the trophy game, and I think that's what's been one of my biggest concerns is that we pick up injuries and fatigue from these games that realistically, if we make Wembley, it's absolutely worth it. If we don't, we've not really gained anything from it. We've just had some extra fixtures. The prize money is not great in the trophy at all. And so I still think we're 2 games from Wembley. Right, we're 2 games from Wembley. So, of course, we've got to take it seriously. I hope he plays the strongest team, and I hope we get there. I had an interesting conversation with someone the other day, actually, in the King and Castle pub, who said that for them, this season is all about the trophy now. And it's the important thing is not anything other than making Wembley. Our game comes down to this. And I've spoken to a few people about that comment, and I'm surprised how many people have agreed and have said, look, playoffs is a lottery. We need to, if we can get to Wembley, then it will be an incredible season and it will be far better for us than making the playoffs. I disagree. I think for me, it's all about the playoffs, but I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that and how important you think that making Wembley would be to us as a club this season.
Right. So let's have a look. Because I can do that shit. I can do that. So we're in the quarterfinals, yeah? Is that correct? So we get $7,500. That buys you probably one corner of the 3G pitch, which is nice. And then $15,000 and then $30,000 runners up. Winners take 60, which is neither here nor there. Can't even buy Dan Bradley for that, John, to be honest, $60,000. So yeah.
As soon as you get past that semi-final point, $15,000 is, it's a fairly decent amount of money to us as a club, I suppose. But whether we're runners up or winners, it doesn't matter, because especially if we get, say we get Southend in the final, then it's the ticket money. That's what's, the ticket money, the TV money, that's what's going to really make the difference. The prize money's almost negligible.
Right. So what I was going to, on Tuesday night when I was coming back, Tuesday night, I was thinking to myself, I'd rather go to Wembley and maybe win it than get promoted, because on the showing on Tuesday night, I was that irate with it all. I was like, if we go up, we'll just go straight back down again, and we just go straight back down. And I've had some time to think about it. Still feel the same way. So yeah. So there you go. Dan, what about you, mate? What about you?
I'm afraid to say I think the FA Trophy is a complete distraction from what is important, and I think what is important this year is getting out of the National League North. Whilst, don't get me wrong, I'll be cheering us on. 28th, I won't be there on the 28th. That's actually the day I get the keys to my new house. So I shan't be there. Cheers. I was trying to drag my dad along to do some DIY, and he told me where to go because he wants to go to the game. But
nice.
For me, it just feels like, even though going to Wembley would be absolutely wonderful, and I still remember, the last time we were there, and everything about it was great until the final whistle went, but or until the start of the second half, anyway. So I think that exactly like John said, it's fatigue, it's the risk of injury. I think if we went out at this phase, whilst I'd be disappointed that we weren't going to Wembley, I would be rubbing my hands together and saying, right, come on, lads, now let's focus on getting the real job done. It's my opinion, and I totally understand the reasons for other people saying otherwise.
I'm just a dreamer, Dan. Just a dream.
There's nothing wrong with that, mate. Nothing wrong with that at all. And like I said, I'd be there. Don't get me wrong. No,
Dan. By saying what you said, mate, you're not allowed to go to Wembley. You're on the ban list, pal.
I'm banned,
with the Pyro crew, and Dan and John will throw you in as well, pal. Oh, there you go. Right, okay. Someone mentioned something earlier about Hereford, which we will talk about later, because I think it's kind of important to talk about.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Is there anything else for Tuesday night that you want to speak about? Anything else Tuesday night?
I think lack of goals is something that we talked about right from the beginning of last season, coming into this season. And I wanted to talk a bit about Danny Waldron, and I wanted to know what people are thinking in the comments about what they've seen of him. It's very early days for him. He's sort of had 2.5 games. We had this sort of fierce debate going on, didn't we, about whether the problem is the strikers or the delivery. I personally sit on the side of the fence that I'm starting to wonder whether it is the delivery that's the issue, and that we're not creating clear-cut chances. Hemo had a very good chance at the start of the second half that he should have scored, in fairness, and would have helped him so much had he have scored. But I sort of feel that we've had proven strikers start for the club this season, and it seems to be a recurring theme, and it's making me wonder whether it is the lack of creating those real clear-cut opportunities, as opposed to the strikers themselves not putting away opportunities. And I'm interested to see what other people think.
Go on, John.
I think it's too early to make a call on Danny Waldron.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's too early. I think, if we talk again in a month's time and he still hasn't scored, then I think, then we'd be probably having a different opinion. I think he's been brought in for one reason, that's to find the back of the net. But he hasn't had much game time at all. He hasn't had much time with the squad yet at all. So I think, let's give him time and see how he gets on. With Hemo, Hemo's an interesting one, because whether we like it or not, Hemo's role in this stint at Harriers is different to his role in the previous stint, and I think he's still playing pretty damn well. I think it's no coincidence that him coming back into the side was the start of our great run. I think he's still got the most quality on pretty much any pitch we're playing on, 4G or not. He's had chances that he should have buried, but I think he's then made up for that in the way that he's played throughout the games. With a finisher of that quality, it is only a matter of time until those chances that are falling for him start hitting the back of the net. I'm really pleased his loan's been extended and that he's staying. I'm not surprised about it at all. And I think that he's going to play a key part in our run into the playoffs and in the playoffs themselves. Someone wants to know what your yogurt's like, Wes. Does it taste like pear drops?
No, it doesn't at all. It just tastes like pear. I'm like, if I wanted a pear, I'd eat a pear. But, there you go. It tastes all right, actually. It tastes not so bad. Waldron, I don't know. I don't know about Waldron. I don't know, because the twice I've seen him, he's fallen over easily and just been like, I want a free kick. And the rest have been like, whatever, and just carry on. But I don't like to see that. I want to see someone go in there, smash her around. It's Kidderminster Harriers, pal. It's not Dog and Duck FC. Let's just get in there. Let's properly let them know we're there. We didn't do that. Macclesfield did. Apart from, Kay on Tuesday night, he was really upset because he got a tackle by Obi in the first half in like 6 minutes or 5 minutes or something, Dan. And Obi, I think, left a foot in or whatever, and Kay was like banging. They're banging on the floor. And they're like, "Oh, I'm so hurt. He wasn't. He was just a bit upset. Anyway, the Harriers fans started singing the song, which I've not heard them sing for ages. They did the die. Now I thought that song, ironically, had died, but it's back. Why is that song back? Does anyone know? Have we decided we're going to go back to our roots and all that kind of thing? I mean, he did go on and score a goal, like literally 3 minutes later, so probably shut us up a little bit. But then he had a right go at us, didn't he, John? He had a right go at us.
Yeah, I think that he felt aggrieved that there was a lot of chanting when he was on the floor. But what I will say is, and I said this at the time, watching him for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You'd bloody love a player like that.
Oh, you would. That's the annoying thing. You really would. Whoa,
and
come on.
He was on it really the whole game, and it was needless the celebrating in front of us every goal. Like it's not a derby. It's not like we've ever had any real problems with Macclesfield, and they were really trying to get a rise out of the fans the whole game. Their fans, I thought, were pretty quiet for the majority of the game, especially given what was going on the pitch. But yeah, I think you'd love a player like that. Someone who does you're talking about getting stuck in. He just got stuck into everything. He was alive to everything. I thought he had a great game, and it'd be brilliant to if he becomes available. I'd want him at Agba in a heartbeat.
We'd be like, sorry, man, we didn't mean it really. We did mean it really. Do it for us, thanks. We do have a player like that, actually. But unfortunately, he plays in defence. His name's Pierce Bird, and he's not available at the moment because he's still injured. But I don't know how long he's going to be injured for. So, yeah, right. Can we move on to talk about the Joe Folks chant? Can we do that? Because tonight we've got to pick a winner. Everyone in the comments, right? So I'm gonna attempt to sing them, and John might attempt to sing his song as well. So
I'll let you sing it, Wes, don't worry.
All right. No, it's got swear words in it. My dad's watching, so he won't be happy with that. So what I'm going to do is read them out, pretty deaf tone, and we'll go from there. And you've got to choose the song that you want, because the winner gets 2 tickets to watch Harriers against Merthyr on Tuesday night, courtesy of Justin Folks, Joe's dad. All right. So
before we go into that, Wes, very, very quickly,
yes.
I just want to pick up on what someone said. That the die chant probably isn't the best when they've actually had a player die only a couple of months ago.
Oh yeah,
and I do think that, but I think when it stopped for us, and it does, you still hear it at grounds up and down the country. When it stopped for us, I think was not long after the passing of Matt Gadsby, and it's needless, really. I don't think it's ever meant literally. I didn't actually hear it on Tuesday. I thought it was just chants of get him off the pitch, chanting to the ref, you don't know what you're doing, because he was down for an extended period of time and didn't really seem that injured, and obviously wasn't that injured because 2 minutes later he was running around like a blue backsided fly. But yeah, I don't think it's I don't think it's a tasteful one. I don't think it's something that we hear or sing very often. And I think it's, given the circumstances at Macclesfield, I can understand why it would have rubbed them up the wrong way a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, John. Let's go and get Joe Folks a song. Let's do it. Right, okay. So Jim Price has said, right, number 1 is Jim Price, okay? So get your pens and paper ready. At the end, you don't vote now, vote at the end, okay? Number 1, Jim Price. It says, I only wrote this one song. I wrote it for Luke Spokes. But now he has gone on loan. You can sing it for Joe Folks. Is it a song or is it more a poem?
It's like a haiku, isn't it? It's pretty.
Haiku.
What would the tune be? Is it like, I only wrote this one song, I wrote it for Luke Spokes? Would it be that?
Yeah, that's what you should be singing, John. Anyway, yeah, right. But then this one came in very early from Tom Payne. And he said, Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix, or Joe Folks to the tune of Jolene by Dolly Parton. That was all he wrote. I said, I need lyrics. So literally he wrote, Wesley Thompson, Joe Folks, Joe Folks, Joe Folks, Joe Folks. He's faster than the Turbo Man. I don't know, but anyway, it's that. That's number 2, okay? So if that's your song, you want to sing on Terraces, that's number 2. Yeah, whatever. Right, okay. So then, Stu Wallstrom, who won Guest Attendance last week. Stu says, what about Hey Jude? Na, 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 Joe Folks. Yeah,
strong. It's strong.
So that's number 3. If you're voting, that's number 3, okay? I'll tell you when to vote. Kieran says, Wes, few days late, but had an epiphany. It must be Love by Madness. It must be Folks, Joe Folks, do-do-do. It must be Folks, Joe Folks. Nothing more, nothing less. Folks is the best. And then he wrote at the bottom, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. An aggressive song there, if you will. Aggressive song. I love that. And then, so that was number 4. Number 5, we had one from John Smith. John, would you like to sing it?
Not particularly, but I will. So, yeah, to the tune of In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry. Jerry. And it only really works during this kind of weather. But in the winter time, when the weather is shite, we've got Joey Folks running down the right. In the winter time, we've got Folks and he's fucking dynamite. And you can take the profanity out if you want, Wes.
Why? But why didn't you do that in the first place?
Because I just absolutely love swearing at the football.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I wasn't aware of that at the time, but now you told me, John, I totally get it. Totally get
comment, Joe Folks is on fire to the tune of Sex is on Fire. I think that could
but
work.
You can't. No. But you can't just write a song then with Joe Folks and then leave it at that. I need lyrics, man. I need lyrics. I'm sure there was another one somewhere as well because someone accosted me at the Macclesfield game and said, "I've got a song." And then John sang his song, and then he was like, "No, that wins." I was like, "Okay, fine." Right, so that's number 5. Let me have a look. I put something in Kidderminster Harriers fans. No, Kidderminster Harriers. No, I can't find it. Oh no, hang on. No, put anything there. So there you go. 1 to 5. Everyone, if you could vote now, please, that would be amazing. That would be good. 1 to 5. The winner will get a pair of tickets for the Harriers on Tuesday night.
Are we allowed to vote?
Yeah, of course. Put a vote in the box, mate.
Can I join the chat on here? Let me see.
Of course you can.
Oh no, I have to connect my YouTube account, so.
Which one was number 4? Was that Hey Jude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was number 3? Because I like number 3.
Oh, don't ask me what it was. Number 3.
I thought that was Hey Jude.
Hang on. I didn't think it'd be this hard, to be honest, guys. You really didn't think it'd be this hard?
I mean, all you've had to keep track of is 1 to 5, whereas like
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And do you know what? It's been okay. So hang on. Let's go back.
4 was the Madness one, that's right. Yeah, it must be Folks, Joe Folks, yeah. So I'm gonna vote for number 3. So I'm saying I like that. No disrespect, John. I did love your version, but I like that na 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 Joe Folks. I think that would sound epic ringing round Agbra. That would.
Okay, so hang on a minute. Hang on.
6.
What?
Someone's voted 6.
That's Andy, the graphics. Andy.
Yeah.
Come on, Andy. Right, can someone count them for me, please, those votes, if no one else
All right, so 2, 3, 4 for number 4. 5 has got 3. And 3 has got 1. My vote's 2. What was your vote, Wes?
Do you know what? I liked the Madness one, to be fair.
Yeah. So that's 4 again.
4.
So 4 and 5 are tied then.
I'm going to go for Hey Jude because I think that's got the most chance of actually taking off and it actually being sung and ringing around the North Stand.
Yeah, number 3, John's already got tickets from Paul Curtis there. Yeah. So my vote's 3, but I think the winner here is 4 by the looks of it.
4?
1, 2, 3, 4. 5 has got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, number 4. 4 is the winner. With your vote as well, Wes. So that's the Madness.
We've got a winner, Kieran. Well done, mate. Kieran Keeley. Excellent. You've won, pal. You've won. Now all you've got to do is get your microphone and start singing it when on the game. That'd be grand. John, how do you get a chant started, mate, at the football? How do you do it?
So what you do, mate, is you just sing it.
Wow!
And people will either latch onto it and start singing it, or they won't. But if they don't be afraid to sing it again, because remember, there's no such thing as embarrassment at football. No.
Unless you're unless you're TSS 3 yards out with the ball bouncing in front of you. Should I have brought that up? Probably not.
All right, Dan. All right, mate.
and then to distract from that, he starts singing "Na na 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 Joe
Joe folks." Yeah. So your song's got quite specific lyrics. Do you pass it around your mates beforehand, or do you just go for it and hope people pick up on what you're saying?
Usually, just start singing it. To be honest, mate,
yeah.
I think my thing is, like, I get so focused on what's happening at the football that I don't really care. It's nice to hear the noise, but I don't really, if I'm, you obviously, Wes, you've watched quite a few games with me. I just tend to just get lost in shouting, screaming, cheering, singing, and 90 minutes of just, as some would say, being a bit of a prat. But I think, that being a bit of a prat does support the team a lot. So
nothing wrong with that.
Got to do it, man. It's got to be doing it. So we had a winner. It was
number 4.
Yeah, it was number 4. Is it any further? I don't know. Anyway, I've sent Kieran a message and said, congratulations, you're a winner, Kieran. Well done, you. Right, so there we go.
You might want to catch up a little bit, Wes. I know you've had a couple of struggles with counting. Have you ever watched Sesame Street? There's a count on there that can help you.
There's a count.
1, 2, 3. I love the chant.
It's funny you say that because I'm now a big fan of ChatGPT. I'm only about 3 years too late, but it's fantastic. And I asked it to turn me and my friend into Sesame Street characters, and there I am. And that's my mate Craig with a brilliant beard. How can you not love? There you go. How can you not love that? I don't know. So it's Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 52. And we're doing it. We're doing all right because there was no game on Saturday. I did want to have a chat about Hereford because, and get everyone's thoughts on this, Hereford have been told they can't play their home games at Edgar Street. So where are they going to play their home games then? Apparently there's already been a place found. Now, I have thoughts on this, and it will involve a 4G pitch. But I want to hear you guys. What thoughts on this?
I would be incredibly shocked if it wasn't Gloucester. I can't think of it being anywhere else. As far as I know, they've not approached us.
No, thanks.
I think with the pitch as it is at the minute, we'd be likely to agree. But the problem we'd have is the amount of games they've still got to play. Yeah. So yes, 1, they need a 4G, and 2, the amount of games that we've got and they've got, it wouldn't potentially work. Also got to remember that we host Wolves under 21s as well. We might host a women's game or 2 towards the end of the season. We've had Youth Cup as well. So I think it would be unlikely to be us. Gloucester would probably be my first thought. My second thought would be Six Ways, if they can ground share with Worcester, Warriors, and City, because obviously that's 4G as well. So I think, maybe that. So I would be very surprised if it wasn't one of those two. They've got to move. They've got no choice. Their pitches are, it. Last time I saw a picture of it, I was convinced that I'd accidentally clicked on to the start of Shrek 2. It looks that much of a swamp. It had sand patches all over it when we played them in December, which I think was their last home game. Was their last home game Boxing Day?
I think it was, yeah. I think you're right.
So when you're in that position, they're not just going to be playing Saturday and Tuesday. It's, they are going to have to squeeze in a couple of Thursdays, I would have thought, as well. And if the situation persists for them for, even a couple of weeks longer, 2-3 weeks longer, they're going to be in a real mire, no pun intended, in terms of the games that they've got left to play. I remember a couple of seasons ago, Truro having to play every Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, because they were in a very similar situation. I think that their hand's been forced with that.
Truro's training must have just been, right, listen, we have 10 minutes for the game, and that's all the training we're getting now. There's no more training needed. Oh, did they do all right in that? Was it definitely Truro? I thought it was a northern team who had exactly that, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
There probably was as well. I know Truro were in that position, but there probably was another team as well. And someone said, funnily enough, that Truro were playing at Gloucester then as well, and they needed to make that move. I think KHSA TV, I think that's Phil, has said their home games clash with Gloucester's home games. Which has happened to other teams who've been in this situation before, and they've ended up having to either reverse fixtures or play on Monday nights or whatever. And it's not an ideal at all, but they're in a situation where needs must. Someone else has mentioned, Josh Cowley has said, Worcester City men and women, Worcester Warriors men and women. So they'd probably go to Gloucester or maybe Redditch. Redditch do play a lot of Monday nights, so that might help them if they did go to Redditch. I think if you look at Redditch as opposed to Gloucester or Worcester, then they're going to have very, very, very few fans there. Very few. And given their current financial situation and their squad situation, they've got kids on the bench basically. I don't. If I was a Hereford fan, I would not hold out much hope of playing National League North football next year.
Now, people will say, "Wes, what are you talking about, Hereford? What's the point?" It's the fact that the situation we've all, thankfully, we're in a great situation now with the pitch, aren't we, John? Dan, it's just our pitch is a carpet more or less the whole year through, which is incredible. But there's been times when it hasn't been, and it's just nice to see what's going on and what the options are and that kind of thing. So yeah,
I think. Can I make a point on that? I think it's. I think it's the thin ice that you skate on at this level of football. You're not seeing Premier League teams talking about, they need to finish their fixtures a different game. You're not talking about that all the way down the level. The level that we play at, and I think this is what makes me so passionate about Kidderminster Harriers and about the non-league scene, is that we're always on the edge. All the clubs are on the edge. And, you sort of feel if you have a bad season, you're dropping out in the National League North and you're falling down into, the Midlands leagues. And these clubs can disappear so quickly. And Macclesfield are a good example that they've clawed their way back up, but it's taken significant investment to get themselves back into the National League North and challenging for a playoff spot. And I think it's really easy to become what am I trying to say? To become not disillusioned, but to become just expectant that the club will always exist. And this is why, seeing the gate receipts go up over the last sort of 5 years to me is so special, because it shows that the club, or that the town is supporting the club and keeping the club viable. So you know what? Like, of course, I'm never going to say I want Hereford to do well at all or anything like that. But I feel for them, and I feel for their fans, and I feel if it was us in that situation, it would be awful to be thinking that this club that we all love and the reason we tune in on a Sunday night are struggling financially and in a position where their ground is no longer playable. They've got to try and figure out somewhere else to play. They're in real sort of financial difficulty, and so I do feel for Hereford a bit, and I hope they can get themselves sorted out.
There you go. Dan Giles says Blythe's a good example. Double relegation. Now they're near enough bottom and look to be going down again. They're a decent team at National League North, and they were Blythe. It's a long way away, Blythe. To be fair, I'm glad they're not. I'm glad they're not.
But if Gate, assuming Gates had come down, then we've got yet another northeast trip, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Come on.
Yeah. That's actually what you were saying about viability, because we have been in tough situations before, Dan, where we've been on the verge of going bust. I think that's a nice segue into.
Here we go. Here he is. Here we go. This segues. Come on.
Into a chat about what's the developments during the week, what's happened with the step forward in Richard Lane's plan to purchase the stadium, what those plans mean, and sort of talk about what our thoughts are with that.
Absolutely. So I, like many, many, many other Harriers fans, including yourself, John, maybe including you, Dan, can recall the most amount of amazing times I've heard of the Harriers Arms. I really have. They used back in the early noughties, man. We're talking 2001. They randomly was doing Sunday lunch in the Harriers Arms.
Yeah.
You get the biggest piece of beef ever. I didn't even know why or what was happening there, but it used to be great. And then that got canned off and stuff. It just has always been a nice little home to go to, and if they demolish it, it'll be sad, but we've got to have just the biggest party ever. We just have to have the biggest goodbye Harriers Arms party and just smash it out. Just all the shots, all that kind of thing. I'll be up for that.
Maybe get Kev from the Murmur in to do the singing rather than you, though, Wes, based on tonight.
That wasn't my actual voice. That was a pretend voice, John. Obviously. But yeah, we'll
be like a young Paul Potts.
Obviously.
I actually thought about that. I thought that about you, John. You had some nice vibrato going on as you were singing your track, which I was quite impressed with.
Anyway, back on stage, back on track, boys. What do we think? I think it'd be amazing if they get a lift in. That'd be incredible. That'd be incredible because we tried to make some money from Fat Boy doing a weight loss plan. And then that money just disappeared, didn't it? So there we go.
Well, it wasn't just from that. It was actually, Keys to Kidderminster Harriers Independent Supporters Trust, who are a great bunch of people and have been supporting the club for a long, long time, actually gave some money to the club. And this is a previous regime, so it's no reflection on the current regime at all. Gave some money to the club for a lift that they'd collected and fundraised for. And it never happened. Yeah. So I think it's a shame. I think we definitely do need a lift. And I think that the expanded plans for the Agbra Suite in terms of more hospitality, using it for a space where people can go during the day, potentially cafe facilities and things like that. I think that's a great idea. I'm really, really sad that it will mean that the Harriers Arms will go, but that's a personal thing. I've been going up to the Arms for so many years now. Before the games, after the games, the occasional halftime pint, and also things like it's been the scene of promotion parties. It's been the scene of commiserating after relegations, watching England games, watching Prem games, going and seeing bands, quiz nights, everything. It's been a real staple of the community for a long, long time. But I understand why they're making that decision. I just hope that we don't lose a pub at the ground. As I understand it, the social club is part of the purchase, and I really hope that is that there's some work done to the social club and that it's brought into where it should be, and that we can continue to have a pub on the ground, which is a real plus because not all teams have got that at a lot of levels. And yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That there's a plan to make sure that everyone who does avail themselves of the arms on match days and otherwise has somewhere else to go, so they don't feel like the match day experience is changed.
Can I read this for you? So this is about that. They're talking about the agenda. The meeting's agenda, published by Ware Forest District Council, said the Harriers wanted to create a landmark entrance gateway. It said the plans include a modern, welcoming hub that embodies the concept of from fibres to football, weaving Harriers into the community. It also said the plans would include an improved arrival space and entrance gateway, which will serve as a welcoming, functional space for fans and visitors, ensuring seamless access and creating a memorable experience. New hospitality spaces, corporate boxes, and multifunctional event areas are part of the club's goal. It's promised state-of-the-art amenities for match goers.
Well,
Yeah, indeed.
That sounds positive. Yeah, it's just been mentioned that the social isn't owned by the club. I'm well aware of that it's not owned by the club, but I do believe it's leased from the council. I might be wrong, but I think it's leased from the council, and basically the bid is for Agbra, the car park, and the social club. I think that, and someone else has mentioned about income streams, and in terms of being sustainable and viable long term, which is hard to do for any football club, having more income streams is vitally important, especially if we're going to keep the investment up.
Yeah.
I think that everything that I saw from that council meeting, and I'm going to be honest, much like Jackie Weaver, I did not sit and read the standing orders. But I did see the highlights from it, and I think that everything seems fairly positive, fairly realistic as well. Not like an 11,000-seater stadium on the Starport Road that we were previously promised. Everything seems realistic. There's, it'll be done incrementally, and it'll be a really solid
foundation
for the club.
What's KHFC TV mentioned me for? I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, so we did pretty well tonight, guys. I think we did. Any other business, fellas? I want to say thank you to Dan.
Good job. Nice one. Have you started it yet? Or?
I've read 3 pages, Dan. And I can tell you about the author's really good. So I've enjoyed that page. That was good. And then the 3rd page was this one. So I don't really count as it. But yeah. I've read 3 pages. I will start it. It will help my memory and all that kind of thing. So there you go. Has anyone else got any book recommendations while we're here in the book club? The Sunday night book club?
I enjoyed Duncan Ferguson's autobiography. That was excellent.
Sure.
So
Love
very interested actually about his life and the trials and tribulations he's had on and off the pitch. But interestingly, that when he was in prison, he used to have one person write to him regularly to talk about football and ask him lots of questions about his career, and it was and to keep his spirits up as well. And it was a young Wayne Rooney.
Wow!
No way.
Yeah, so. That's a very, very interesting book.
Josh Cowley says a gym would be brilliant if they opened a public 24/7 gym like Oldham. What's going on, man? What is going on? Are they going to build another thing on top of the 2 tiers? Well, to be fair, when I lived in High Wycombe, the gym I used to go to was above the KFC. So
you lived in High Wycombe?
Yeah.
When
twice.
were you in? Oh, right. Because that's where my car was from. I lived there for about a year and a half, actually.
Mate, I know her. I can't talk about it now. I'm not talking about this.
I knew
that. Well, you mentioned it, pal, not me. You mentioned it, not me. Yeah, keep you sweet, Dan. Keep you sweet. Macclesfield have a gym. Oh, mate, listen, where are we going to put the gym?
We're doing additional building, and however we want that additional building to look, I think once we own the land, I'm saying we own the land, I haven't got a financial stake in it, just an emotional one. But once Richard Lane and group own the land, then the possibilities start to increase, don't they, for things like that? And it's just how they want to work it. But however they do work it, I think it'll be in I think I've used this word so many times I sound like a politician, but a sustainable way that it will be developed. And I think that's a really positive thing.
I love that. That'd be ace. Do you think now, I don't want to put this without sounding a bit weird, but do you think that if we increase maybe the amount of food and stuff, they'll get new caterers in? Or do you think they're happy with the job they're doing already?
I think the food's pretty good. I think certainly my experience of eating there, there's always things you think, it's not quite mum's home cooking, is it? But I think the food's pretty good. It's more about whether if the volume does go up, can the caterers themselves deal with an increase in numbers? But I like the food. If you compare the food to that burger you had at Bedford.
Do you know what? Did you see my vlog? Did you see the nearly hot dog? God, terrible. Honestly, I don't want to bother, to be honest. Let's just buy a bag of sweets and that'll do, or some chips, or even the chips. Crap. Yeah, pear drops. That was quite nice, actually. I've enjoyed that. Any other business, Dan?
Not really from me. I had a few people get in touch with me on Facebook with regards to the point you raised last week about mental health, which I have to say I thought was very brave and good on you for doing so. Had a couple of people reach out on Facebook asking for that book's name. To me, asking for the name of that book, and was there anything else I could recommend? And I put another one I actually said was Jimmy Carr's book. I said that to you, didn't I? His book, which is actually very good and written like a self-help book. But what I would say about that one is get it on audiobook because it's hilarious. Jimmy Carr delivers that book brilliantly, so well worth a listen. So I won't name those people, but and I'll say this to everyone who's listening. We're always here. If there is anything anyone needs to talk about, feel free to drop a message. So it was nice having those people reach out. But that's all I've got, I'm afraid.
Dan, do you remember when you started the Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast?
Yeah.
And you used to have a drum kit in the background?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have a piano or a keyboard in the background now, Dan?
So that belongs to Cara. So Cara's a bit of a pianist. But the thing is, we're moving house, as I've sort of said. So everything's being packed up. So the keyboard, Cara's piano is actually. I gave her that on her birthday, which was the day after we got married. So
what romantic, John! You heard that, mate? You got to up your game, pal.
Birthday, so. That's hers. We do like a bit of music here, so it's all good.
Do you know what? Actually, talk about that. So 2 years ago for Christmas, I got the wife tickets to see Peter Kay.
Oh yeah, very good.
But because it just took ages to come round, it's come round. And now we're going to see him next month, right? But then I said to her, don't forget Peter Kay. She said, "What are you on about?" I said, she said, "What do you mean? Who are you taking?" And at that point, I should have said John Smith, but I didn't,
yes.
John.
I've already been to see him, and what I will say is take a comfortable seat cushion because it's a long show.
Very funny all the way through, although it won't be, no doubt, if it's that long. So there you go.
There are some very funny bits. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, of course there are. John Smith, I noticed tonight you didn't have your glasses on, so I instantly took mine off as well because I thought, we'll be the no glasses club tonight.
Well, it was just because I'm in a different room to try and avoid my vanishing screen technique because I didn't get my background sorted in time, and just the reflection on my glasses made me look like I was in Blade Runner. So I'd take them off. which is why when I've been looking at the comments, I've been like, someone said, so my only other business is obviously the Merthyr game on Tuesday night.
Let's talk about that.
I'm really excited for that. I think that leaving Macclesfield was obviously I felt very disappointed, but not to the same level as I did after the Radcliffe or Merthyr games. I feel like it was very much a blip, possibly a warning shot across the bows of our unbeaten run, or our, well, not unbeaten anymore, but our good run. And I hope that it is a blip, and it's something that is going to help us to refocus, guard against that complacency, and maybe just give the squad a bit of some of the players a bit of an opportunity, and some of the players a bit of pressure to perform to keep their positions. I think Merthyr, having just lost, obviously having lost Ricardo Rees, and then just having sold Cole Jarvis to Newport as well. I think we're playing them at a really good time. I really do. I think that they're, from what I saw the highlights from the Chorley game, they look to be playing essentially the same style of football that they have been all season, which has obviously served them well. But I think that that's a style of football that we really like to play against. And I think we've proven that against Merthyr, against South Shields, against Fylde, although Fylde to a lesser extent play that. And then obviously most famously against Morecambe, they play an extreme version of the football that South Shields and Merthyr play. So I think that in terms of fixtures that are just after a big loss, I think it's a really good one to have. I hope that folks can manage Twamley as well as he did at their place. And I think that it's exciting. It's exciting to be back at Agborough. It's exciting to have a game where we can go within one win of third place, and it's exciting to be playing against that kind of team. So looking forward to Tuesday.
I think
Noel,
as well.
Sorry, Dan. I was going to say, Noel says good time to play them because they've sold their strike over the striker. Thing is, though, we've got loads of strikers. They don't score, so I mean, is it going to matter too much?
Do so. It is,
Well, did John is the correct tense for that.
I was, if I can just jump in there, I was going to say that we were a bit worried about tonight's episode with there being the game called off yesterday, but I think it's been a little bit of a blessing in disguise for us. That has the lads have been able to have a breather, a little bit of time on the training ground with Adam, getting their heads right, and I think. There's one of the comments there from Dr. Stevens, score for Tuesday night. I'm going to go with 2-0 Harriers. I think...
I've not done predictor. Everyone do predictor now. Well, afterwards.
Quickly, yeah. But I think we'll go 2-0 Harriers, and I think we'll look a lot sharper on Tuesday night. I think the travel will be out the legs. The lads, like I said, had a breather and a bit of a run on the training ground, so I'm feeling confident about Tuesday. I'm aiming to be there, so I haven't told Cara yet, but I'm aiming to be there, so...
Dude, why are you ruining it for yourself, mate?
I know, it's bad, isn't it? But I know.
How far away is she? I've
got a feeling. So I'm actually in her office, which is why you can see the keyboard behind. But I'm hoping she's still downstairs watching some of her trash TV and not listening at the wall, ready to tell me off when I log off from here.
She's going to attack you, Dan. Can I just say, John, wasn't it brilliant to see Dan Mooney on Tuesday night? Wasn't it brilliant?
Yeah, great to see him. Really nice guy, and nice for him to come and say hello. I know that he's hoping to get on the podcast at some point. I think that he's got a really good footballing brain, which is evident on the pitch, but also really good to chat football with him, and his take on things off the pitch is just as good. His recovery is from a very serious injury, and so he seems to be in a good place with that, which is great to see. And I hope that we see him in a Harriers shirt next season. He did say that if we reach Wembley, then he might do a full John Terry and go in full kit to collect the winner's medal.
Love that. He was such a nice guy as well. It was so funny because I'd set this up with Dan for. I've been trying to get him on for ages, ever since it happened. And I was like, "Well, what net game you be at? We can meet and stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be at Macclesfield." And then because Macclesfield just was so shit, the whole of it was so terrible. The first half, we'd fallen off school and everything, and I just completely forgot I'd said about it. Next thing I know, I'm looking up and there he is. I'm like, Dan. He's like, "Hey," I was like, "Have a hug," and we had a hug, and it was nice. So there you go. Although he's not doing his shoelaces up, which is really bad because you should always do your shoelaces up.
He can't bend over. Probably his legs.
All right, Dan, don't bring it down, mate. Come on.
Why
now.
does that keep happening to me?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's because it just opens and it just comes. The vial comes out, mate. It really does.
What are your
right.
score predictions for Tuesday night, anyway?
Well, me.
Yeah.
I'm not going. I'm working. I didn't have to work, but I'm going to work because of what happened last Tuesday. I hope we win. I'll take a win. Probably 2-1. Maybe I think 2-1. Oh, Gary said that 2-1 Harriers. So yeah, I'll take 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say, John?
I think we stopped them scoring last time. I think we'll stop them scoring again. I think it'll be 1-0.
Take it. I'll take it.
Well, listen, guys, I am so tired. It's been a long week, a long weekend. I just want to say thank you so much, Dan. Thank you so much, John. And I've been Wes, the leader of this ship, which sometimes just goes wayward, but that's okay. We don't mind either, do we? Thank you. So if you're new to this, please like and subscribe. And if you've got any friends who are Harriers fans who haven't checked us out, please do as well. Because sometimes we actually talk football properly the whole time and Nick's in with the stats and stuff, and it's great. But tonight we had a night off. We just talked about Hereford. So there you go. So there we go. So that's Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 52. Johnny. Thank you, guys. See you next week. Enjoy the game.
Bye,
Cheers,
everyone.
guys, up the Harriers.